Hi, Eric Wilson here, independent licensed mechanic, 30 years of experience. In the next short while, I'm going to show you the inside story on this 2011 Lincoln MKX so you can make yourself an informed decision. Now, coming in on the front left tire, you got about 40% tread on all-season radios. Down a bit, but definitely not out. Coming behind the front left tire, this is the front left lower ball joint. Now, this is critical. It's the only thing that holds the left wheel to the chassis. Now, this is the left outer CV boot. Now, it's full of grease, and it's important not to rip, because if it was ripped, it'd be grease all over the place. That's the inner CV boot. Again, if it was ripped, you'd see grease all over the place. Now, it's important not to be ripped, because what happens is that this is what lubricates the axle going forward. And then coming now on your brakes, you've got about practically brand new brakes, about 40,000 K left on your front brakes there. Now, this is your left outer tie rod. Now, this is critical. It's the only thing that holds the wheels to the steering, and that is tight. This is the left sway bar link connected from here to there. Important to be connected because it dampens the sway when it goes around the corner. Now, coming let's see here. Okay, I'm just taking a quick perusal under the motor here. Okay, this is the bottom of the oil pan there, and if this is a leak point, if it was going to leak, you see a leak right there. Yeah, I mean, I got a little bit of sweat here on tranny oil, and for the bottom of the tranny there, and I would say that the best thing to do with that is I'm going to put some Lucas stop leak in that to stop that from happening. A bit of a sweat, but not a major leak there. Now, coming across to the front. To the front right tire, you got about 80% tread on snow tires. A different tread, but definitely more tread on the front right than you have on the front left. Now, coming behind the front right tire, this is your right outer ball joint. This is your right sway bar link connector from here to here. Your outer CV boot, good and dry. Your right inner CV boot, good and dry. Brakes, you've got about a lot of brakes on the front there. The right lower ball joint intact, doing its job. Okay, yeah, I'm just looking for any other indication of leaks other than a bit of a slight stain on your fanny there. I don't see anything. Your exhaust. Now, I'm following your exhaust down there. Okay. Someone's done some work on the exhaust, replaced some pipe here, which is good. The exhaust is very quiet. Your exhaust, just follow it down. Got yourself a Class 3 hitch, which is really comes in handy. Now, coming to the right rear tire, you got about 50% tread on all-season radios. You've got on your right rear shock, now full of oil. If it was leaking, you see it dripping all the way down here. That is good and dry. Your right rear spring suspension intact, doing its job. Right rear brakes, you got about 30,000 K, a little less rear brakes on the rear than you have on the front. Now, you've got your right outer CV boot, good and dry. Right inner CV boot, good and dry. Okay, and then slight sweat on the diff right there. Not an active leak, but definitely a sweat for oil there. On your left side there, good and dry. Your inner, for another leak point right here on your diff. Bottom of the diff, yeah. So the diff, a tiny slight sweat on your right inner CV boot. Coming into the left rear tire, again about 50% tread on all season radios. On your right rear shock, good and dry. Right rear spring suspension, no cracks, no breaks. Brakes about 30,000 K. On your right outer CV boot, good and dry. The right sway bar, your left outer CV boot, your left sway bar link connector from here to here, intact. That's the rear. The left inner CV boot, good and dry. And no indication of leaks on the left rear side. Your right rear sway bar link connected from here to here, intact, doing its job. Okay, now this is the left spring suspension, left front spring suspension, and your spring is intact, no cracks, no breaks. Now, this tube right here is full of oil. If it was leaking, you see it dripping right there. That's on the left, and it's doing well, so no leaks, no issues with the left front strut. The right front strut, same thing. No issues on your spring suspension. No indication of leaks on your right front strut. Okay, now with the scanner plugged in, it says codes found. 0. There is no check engine codes, which is nothing, which is a good sign. Okay, with the motor running, very, very smooth. Shot of the exhaust of the motor running, very, very clean. Now, one thing I always do is I take off the cap and I look underneath for any indication of white goo. White goo would be a mixture of oil and antifreeze, and that would be a head gasket. And I do not see any indication of that in this at all. In fact, I don't hear any indication of problems on this motor whatsoever. It's running very smoothly. There is no check engine codes, and as far as I can tell, this vehicle has been well maintained. Now, if you decide to buy, you need to bring the vehicle back to me, because I'm going to put these two things. One, this goes on the fuel line on the motor, and this plugs into the OBD2 port. Now, the combination of these two things will give you 15% better gas mileage, gasoline, diesel fuel, or natural gas. And this costs you nothing if you buy. Just simply come back to me. I'll have you in and out the door in 20 minutes, and you'll be saving yourself 15% gas. In fact, I'm going to give you a couple more of these, because these work for natural gas as well. I put them on my house, on my furnace and on my water heater, and I have been saving 10% on my fuel bill for the last 30 years, and it never ever fails and never stops working. And this is free, my friend, if you buy. So simply contact me. I'm going to be happy to help you with that. Now, hopefully this will help you make an informed decision, and have a good one. Bye-bye.